What's up, brother? In this video, I want to talk about how I cured my imposter syndrome. Because for a very long time, I was the type of person that people would say was disciplined. I would win some type of award, whether it was within sports or I would do good within my career. But I'd always feel as if I wasn't enough or as if I didn't actually deserve the things that I was able to achieve. And then that would slowly cause me to self destruct. I would start to pull myself back and be like, maybe that was a fluke. Maybe I'm not actually good enough to be able to achieve these things. So I should take a step back before I raise the expectations that other people have of me and then I can't live up to them. So I should just take a step back now before things get bad. Or I would use it as a driver to push me forward, but the entire time I'd be working, I'd be so afraid that I wasn't enough that I wasn't creating out of inspiration. I was creating out of desperation and hoping that as long as I continued to put my head down, I continued to work, that eventually I would be able to fill that hole within inside of me. And I lived my life like this for a very long time. But it wasn't until I took a step back and really started to do the inner work that's necessary for you to become the version of you that you know you're meant to be. And throughout this process, I have a exercise that I teach every single one of my clients that come through the Shift program. And it's called the character alignment process. And within this process, what it does is it forces you to go into the internal and find out your anchors, find out how your current character is hooking you into a reality that is not in alignment with the goals that you have in your head. Because the entire purpose of this process is to make the unconscious conscious, because Carl Jung says, if you do not make the unconscious conscious, it will rule your life and you will call it fate. And so that's what was happening. I had a ton of unconscious blocks that were ruling my life, but because I didn't know why they were there, I just continued to live out the same loop. And this is because your unconscious mind dictates 99% of your brain's activity. Your conscious mind only dictates 1%. So by me forcing myself to put my head down and just work, hoping that that would remove the blocks that I was feeling with inside of me, the imposter syndrome that I had, the feeling of not being worthy, I was using the wrong part of my brain. I was using the conscious mind that controls 1%, that is outruled in every single way by what is going on unconsciously. And I didn't know that until you learn how to reprogram the thoughts that are ruling your subconscious mind, you will continue to live out the same exact loop. And once I started doing this work, what I realized was two things. One, the reason why I felt like an imposter was because I never allowed myself to take the time to reflect on my life and accept the good, the bad, and everything in between, and say that no matter what happened, it was meant to happen this way because it got me to this point within my life and it's allowed me to make this part of impact. And if I did not go through the things that I went through in the past, I would not be able to do the things that I can do now. And so by me looking back at the past and accepting every phase of my life that I've been through and not running from it, not feeling as if I need to make up for it, or I wasted time, or I wasn't good enough, or whatever it was, I had to realize that it was all a part of my journey and it was supposed to happen the way it was supposed to happen. Because everything that is meant for you will always be given to you. And like, you just have to continue down the path, and then eventually what is meant for you will be yours. The second thing I realized, which the main purpose of this video is going to be around, is no matter how hard I said I worked, I knew when I went to bed that I did not give my full effort into anything. And so whenever people would compliment me on my determination, or whenever I would succeed within something or achieve something, I would always feel as if I knew there was more left in the tank. And so even though I achieved the external thing, the internal shift that I felt like was required for me to actually be proud of this did not happen. And I want to kind of expand on this here because I look at life as if it's a movie. And if you look at any movie where there is some type of hero or there is some type of main character that you somehow emotionally connect with or you want to see succeed, they all go on some type of journey to be able to achieve some type of external thing. But on that journey, it's clear to the audience, but it's not clear to that person all of the time, that they're also going on another journey, an internal journey, a journey that is way greater than whatever they can achieve in the external, because it shifts them into the person that we all know and love today. And I say this because whenever we set off on a task to be able to achieve some type of goal, the achievement of the external thing is cool, but just like within movies, we all also go through that internal shift that we have to get there. So say you want to get a promotion at work. You can be like, okay, well, like this is the quota that I have to hit. I'm just going to hit exactly what I have to do and not kind of push harder. And so you'll get the promotion. Yeah, you'll be happy about the promotion, but then you'll be like, I knew I could have done better. I knew I could have made more calls. I knew I could have worked a little bit harder. And so then you start to second guess yourself and be like, well, do I actually deserve this thing? And that's where imposter syndrome comes in. Because you're the only person that knows what you are truly capable of. To the outside world, your work ethic may be admirable to somebody else. But you know that you still have more in the tank. You know that it's nowhere near what your actual potential is. And this is why whenever you compare yourself to other people, it makes zero sense, because the only person you should ever compare yourself to is the person that you know you should be. The only work you should compare yourself to is the work that you know that you can produce. And it's like, you can't fool yourself. You're the only person that can see everything that you do. It can see every thought that runs through your head. And if you want to cure your imposter syndrome, you have to stop holding back in every area of your life. You have to allow yourself to fully commit and put your all into something, because when you do that, that's when you find fulfillment. And when you find fulfillment, you get what I call an aligned mind, where your mind is in direct alignment with your soul and what your conscious is telling you that you should do. And that's whatever imposter syndrome you have now that's holding you back just completely disappears. Because now you know that you are living up to who you were supposed to be. And one of the best ways for you to be able to build this with yourself is by raising your standard, becoming unbelievably consistent in every area of your life. And it starts with you taking care of your body. It starts with you taking care of your mind, because think about it like this. You can show up every single day at work, but when you look in the mirror, if you're not proud of your physique, then your confidence is just going to go down just a little bit more. And then when you start to become uncomfortable or unconfident, your work starts to drop and you don't believe in yourself as much. So then you don't allow yourself to fully commit as much as you would. But whenever you go to the gym, you show up consistently and you put in the work, you eat healthy so that you can think clearer, so that you look better, so that you just feel better in every single way. It allows you to show up in every other area of your life as well. And then even including with taking care of your mind, doing the things that are necessary for you to do these, to remove these subconscious blocks that are keeping you stuck. These are the things that really move the needle. Not just trying to work harder, not just feeling as if, even though you don't feel as if you are enough now, by you achieving some external thing, then you will. No, it's taking care of your body, it's taking care of your mind, and using that to be able to take care of anything else that you have going on within your life. Because people always like to think of fitness as if it's like this one thing, nutrition as this, like, it's like, no, like fitness, nutrition, that's the vehicle to get you to your destination, whatever that end goal is that you're trying to go for. And through that process, you install standards. You go through that internal journey that forces you to look at yourself and say, I am somebody that shows up, not once, not twice, but consistently, and puts their best foot forward. That's why one of the most impactful things that I have all my clients do is a shift protocol, and they do one a year. And what it is you choose a goal, choose a character that you want to show up as, and then you choose a test, and you put an exact date on the calendar. So, for instance, like my marathon is coming up this week. That's my shift protocol for this year. I had to go through 12 weeks of training, fight through injuries, fight through rain, snow, extreme heat out in Arizona, and just continuously show up time and time and time and time again, just for this big test of me running through this marathon. Do I care necessarily about the medal that I get at the end? No, because I've seen the shift that it's had on me as an individual by showing up consistently, pushing myself to my limits every single time I went out for a run. And that installs standards that make it impossible for you to regress back to the old version of you, because now you know what you are capable of. And that's whenever you truly remove imposter syndrome. Whenever you have tapped in to the best version of you and you have committed to being that version. Because there's always going to be two versions of you. There's the ideal self and the current self. And the current self will always compare itself to the ideal self. And every single time you make a decision, you have a choice to respond as the current self or as the ideal self. And the more you learn to respond as the ideal self, the less imposter syndrome will be able to have a hold on your life. Because now you know that you're living with an aligned mind, and you are in direct alignment with the version of you that your conscious is telling you that you should be. You stop holding back. You stop resisting. And you commit to persist. And that's how I cured my imposter syndrome. By fully committing to the things that I say I'm going to do. Not half-assing, but actually showing up and putting my best foot forward every single day, no matter how I feel. That's the key. And you can do it too. If you have any questions, or if you want to see how I can help you be able to step into the aligned mind, the aligned version of yourself, click down below. There is a link to an application. You can apply and I'll reach out to you and see if we could be a good fit. And if you're accepted into the program, what we'll do is we will sharpen your mind, sharpen your body, and turn you into a six-figure asset that can achieve anything that they want within life, because they have the mind, they have the body, they have built the vehicle to be able to take them to any destination that they choose. And so, click the link below, apply, and I'll reach out to you and we can have a conversation. I'll see you in the next one.